Number 15, Lunatune says, I've been told that when witnessing to groups such as the LDS, a rebuke is better than conversation because of Acts 13, verses 8 through 10. Should false teachers be shown less grace than non-believers? Interesting. Let's look at the verse. Acts 13, verses 8 through 10, and I'll go to the right book this time. But Elymas, the magician, for that is the meaning of his name, opposed them, seeking to turn the proconsul away from the faith. So here's the context. There's a guy named Elymas. He's a sorcerer. He's trying specifically to influence some third party, the proconsul, to not be a Christian. So this isn't even about witnessing to Elymas, the context. It's about him trying to stop someone else from getting saved. But Saul, who was also called Paul, filled with the Holy Spirit, looked intently at him and said, You son of the devil, you enemy of all righteousness, full of all deceit and villainy, will you not stop making crooked the straight paths of the Lord? And now behold, the hand of the Lord is upon you, and you'll be blind and unable to see the sun for a time. Immediately mist and darkness fell upon him, and he went about seeking people to lead him by the hand. Then what happens? The proconsul believed. So then this other person believed. The context here is, don't let this, if you want to turn Acts 13 into a principle, I think the context is when somebody who is committed to great wickedness, like in his case, sorcery and misleading people away from the gospel, that's a mission of his, and he's having a negative impact on the one you're witnessing to, you can be more harsh with that person. Is that the same as saying, when I am reaching out to Mormons, LDS, Latter-day Saints, I should just give them a rebuke, not a conversation? I think no, that's not the case. Even when they're at my door, they're not doing that to anyone around me, right? Nobody actively in that conversation is having that effect from that person. So I think that if I'm standing there and witness to a third party and a Mormon comes up and starts preaching all this falseness to them, I think there can be a place for being more harsh with them, but it's not the same thing. I'm a little bit skeptical of any sort of blanket rule that says, if you're in this category of religion, I'm going to be really harsh with you. And if you're in this category, I'll be very gentle and have a conversation with you. I think that like every LDS person now I'm gonna have to rebuke, like that just seems weird. And I don't think that is wisdom. I think wisdom is going to examine this circumstance, that scenario, that person, their heart, their situation, the things that they're saying. And sometimes it's a super gentle word, and sometimes it's very harsh. And I don't know the easy rules for telling you when to do which, because it's a lot about being in the moment and listening to the person. I've heard the phrase "law to the proud, grace to the humble." I think that's true, but even law to the proud doesn't necessarily mean just plain old super harsh rebuke. A lot of the proud could be just questions. Like, so do you believe you're a good person? Right? And I'm just conversing with them. It doesn't necessarily have to be harsh. There is a place for harsh rebuke though. And that's where I think more of us fall along the lines of we would never harshly rebuke anybody for anything. Probably we need to do it more, but saying harshly rebuke everybody for everything, you got another problem there.